You ever watch someone completely botch a golden chance right before your eyes? Like they were gifted a diamond and somehow turned it into gravel. That's exactly the mess that unfolded when Meghan Markle booked Mariah Carey for her podcast. On paper, it screamed instant hit. You've got a royal and a music icon. Two powerhouse women chatting about labels, identity, fame, basically everything. Instead, it derailed into one of the most painfully awkward moments Meghan has endured since ditching the monarchy. And trust me, that's a high bar. It all went down on Meghan's Archetypes podcast during her post-royal hype wave. Curiosity was through the roof. Hollywood tiptoed in, giving her cautious nods. Alistairs were answering her calls. Collie Store were handing her chances, not because she'd earned them, but because she was new. She was royal, and she looked like she actually had something to say. So when Mariah Carey, of all people, agreed to join the podcast, it was a headline-making moment. It screamed to Hollywood, Meghan is worth your time. Now Mariah, being the diva we all know, came fully loaded with personality. Glamorous, candid, slightly dramatic, but in the perfect iconic way. Mid-chat, she casually called Meghan a diva. Not shady, no side eye, just playful. Honestly, flattering. From Mariah Carey, the woman who practically owns the term. It should have been a legendary seal of approval. But Meghan, oh no, did not get it. You could almost hear the vibe snap. She went from bubbly to rigid in a heartbeat. Later, she confessed it made her squirm, sweat, question if Mariah even liked her. She spiraled, wondering if her girl crush was officially dead. Instead of letting it slide or laughing it off, she turned it into a grievance, and that's when the whole thing started to implode. Here's the thing, if you want to survive Hollywood especially, when you're trying to leap from royal status to entertainment royalty, you better know the rules. You don't melt down over being called a diva. You either shrug it off or laugh. Meghan did neither. And worse, she went on at length, publicly explaining on her own show just how hurt she was, turning Mariah's playful jab into a full-blown trigger. From that point, it was obvious. Meghan didn't just miss the jokes, she missed the entire vibe. Mariah's brand is diva. That's her whole legacy. She's owned it for decades, flipped it into power. For Meghan to recoil like it was an insult, tone deaf, and everyone noticed. Fast forward to a recent Mariah interview, asked about meeting royals. She name-dropped Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, but didn't even mention Meghan. Not a word, not a hint. Let's be real, Louvre. Don't forget you were on someone's podcast unless you're choosing to erase it. That wasn't an accident. That was Mariah sending a message. I'm done with this girl. And in Hollywood, those tiny signals, they're everything. When someone like Mariah pulls away, everyone notices. People start whispering, wondering what went wrong. And more often than not, they quietly step back too, because nobody wants to link up with someone who can't handle a little playful shade, especially when it wasn't even meant as shade. Hollywood has an unspoken law. If someone higher up the fame ladder drifts, everyone else follows. Doesn't matter how subtle. One misname in an interview, one icy glance at an event. That's all it takes to set off a chain reaction. And that's exactly what's been happening around Meghan Markle. After that awkward Mariah moment, things didn't just get weird, they went silent. Too silent. And in an industry built on connections, when those connections start drying up, you're not just missing parties, you're cut out of the whole game. Meghan started with massive momentum. Her name had clout. She had the Netflix deal, Spotify interest, a global reach. The spotlight and that perfectly polished image are starting to fracture, and Mariah's silence was only the first crack. Look at Serena Williams. She and Meghan once flaunted their Bond vacation shots, glowing interviews, endless public praise. But lately, crickets. No cameos, no mentions, no behind-the-scenes boosts. And let's be real, Serena isn't exactly hiding in the shadows. She's a global force. If she wanted to be there, she would be. Her absence, deafening. And it's not just Serena. Across Black Hollywood, the silence is spreading, and it's starting to feel deliberate. That matters more than most fans grasp. Black Hollywood is tight, and reputations move fast. One sour encounter, one bad whisper behind closed doors, it makes the rounds. So when someone like Mariah Carey decides you're not even worth a mention, people take notes. It's not an instant blacklist, but it is a very clear warning sign. People start treating you like dead weight. Sure, they'll smile on the red carpet, maybe take the call, but the real support, gone. The wild part is, Meghan doesn't even seem to clock what's happening. On the surface, she's grinning, rolling out projects, doing interviews, acting. Like the momentum hasn't flatlined. Her latest series with Love, Meghan just dropped the reception. Brutal. The comments section is a war zone. The viewership, nowhere near what Netflix banked on. Reviews swing from politely snarky to straight up savage. Audiences aren't buying the act anymore, yet she keeps forcing it as if sheer persistence will magically flip the script. But Hollywood doesn't work that way. You can't grind your way out of being unlikable. You can't PR spin your way back into relevance once the vibe sours. And that's the reality here. The vibe has soured. And Meghan's still clinging to filters and sound bites. Behind the scenes, it's uglier. Prince Harry, according to royal insiders like Neil Sean, is spiraling emotionally and financially. One of his cornerstone charities, Centaball, is reportedly slipping out of his hands. And that's not just a personal hit, a reputation killer. His whole brand was built on charity work. And without that anchor, he's exposed, especially while living in a mansion they can barely afford. It's a free fall, and Meghan's only strategy seems to be denial. Keep cranking out content, keep flashing smiles, keep pretending the house isn't burning down. But when someone like Mariah Carey ghosts you in public, that's not smoke. That's a 5-alarm fire. Hollywood won't spell it out, but the message is clear. The door is shutting. And the same people who once rolled out the red carpet are now cutting the lights. Hollywood doesn't deliver rejection letters, it just lets you disappear. Day, your phone won't stop buzzing. The next, radio silence. And right now, Meghan Markle is smack in that fade out, clawing at headlines while the industry quietly moves on. It's not explosive, it's worse. Subtle, calculated, and impossible to reverse once it sticks. That Mariah Carey moment wasn't just a blip. It was a symbol. You don't botch a conversation with a pop icon and expect the entertainment machine to hit reset, especially not when that same icon later pretends you never existed on national TV. Brutal, yes, but that's Hollywood. Meghan had her golden ticket to join the elite, and she torched it. She burned the bridge while the cameras were still rolling. And the craziest part is still acting like none of it matters. Her latest PR push is dipped in fake optimism, like she's still the it girl everyone's cheering for. Netflix tossed her a soft landing with a tiny development deal, nothing bold, just a first-look contract. In Hollywood speak, that's a polite pat on the head. We'll see if you're still worth anything. It's not faith. It's not commitment. It's a placeholder. But Meghan took that sliver of attention and spun it as if she'd reclaimed the throne. With Love, Meghan is the proof a clumsy rebrand that plays more like a lifestyle vlog than a power move. And the audience, they're not fooled. Views are flat. Traction is gone. Even the styling and production reek of trying way too hard to look effortless. And maybe that's the heart of it. Meghan has always felt more staged than sincere, more curated than real. Meanwhile, the financial strain keeps tightening. That Montecito mansion, suit not cheap. The security, the staff, the lifestyle, the PR machine, it all piles up. And when the money flow doesn't match the outflow, the cracks show fast. Harry's stress isn't just about slipping charity ties, it's about the whole facade caving in. He didn't just walk away from a crown, you walk straight into an industry that feeds on constant relevance. And they're running out of it. It's almost tragic. Meghan came in loaded with potential. She had the look, the platform, the global curiosity. But instead of adapting, she tried controlling. Instead of learning Hollywood's rhythm, she tried rewriting it. And that's not survival. In a cutthroat town, you can be bold, you can be messy, but you can't be emotionally fragile when the spotlight's burning hot. And she's proven time and again that even playful shade lands like a personal attack. Now what's left? A woman charging ahead, pretending nothing's broken, while everything quietly caves in. The circle is shrinking. The image is cracked. The projects are stalling, and the once curious public, they're tuning out, not out of hatred, out of boredom. The mystique is gone, the storyline is flat, and the magic never landed. Eventually, even the most polished image can't outrun reality, and Meghan's reality is getting harder to mask. No more glossy photo ops. No more podcasts stacked with Alistairs. No more quiet endorsements from Hollywood insiders. It's just two people clinging to a narrative fewer and fewer believe. The fade-out has started, and unless something truly seismic shifts, Meghan's spotlight won't end in glory. It'll flicker out as nothing more than a footnote in somebody else's documentary.